Take a front row seat as forward-thinking speakers open your eyes to the latest innovations in the maritime world and a fresh perspective. The future is now. Welcome to VriThink's Night Out.
Thank you, and before we start, I have to say that I'm going to freestyle it, so let's see how it goes. So it's a little bit different method that the rest of the guys are using. So let's take it on. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about my way to innovate and design. I will go through a few of the design principles and methods what I use in my normal day. And I think everybody should have some kind of basic philosophy how they see the world, what kind of prism they use to look that kind of things. And for me, I use quite simple things. One is third three truth principle, and second is that there's first principle design and then an analog design. And those two lines of my thinking are what I'm based most of my things. And I think we are starting from the three truths because that's the most important for me. And I hope you will find some of these ideas meaningful. So in three truths is something that helps me to see the world in a logical way. It gives freedom to others to say their opinions. It gives me the possibility to have my opinions. And then in the end, you can always see what truth we are talking. So the first truth is your personal truth. And that truth is something that is inside of you. But you have to remember that that's not only true, and most often it's not correct. But it's your belief, and you are something that you can have it. It's your responsibility to have it, your own. The second one is a collective truth. That truth is something that is shared with multiple peoples and quite often given as a truth to others, like a religion or schools who are teaching you. So those are that kind of collective truths. They are not necessarily scientific truth. And what is I would say, the pinnacle of the truths. And that's something what has been tested, tried, repeated, and that's always the same. And those three truth systems are here. And when you start thinking those in that way, I think that will help you to see things differently. I use that as a toolbox for myself. That's something that helps me to organize the life in meaningful things. And when we discuss, I don't have to change other people's opinions. They can have their own truth. Then I have to a little bit wait because I'm freestyling, so cables. So then I think now we have been through the different truths. I will go into two ways to think. So basically we have the idea of first principle design, was Elon Musk is talking a lot, and then the analog design. In first principle design, let's start from the analog design. Analog design is almost like evolution. We have an idea and we make that better, small increments. All the time the things get better, but it's quite safe and nice way to make things better. But you don't get anything radical from that. Let's say example, bicycle here in Holland, pennyfarthing, the big bicycle, big wheel in the front. And it started with the small wheel, make it bigger, bigger, bigger to go faster. But then it was so large that you had to be acrobat to go on top. So basically, there was a limit for that innovation. For that reason, we had to go in the first principle design. And first principle design, you have to learn the basic function of that idea. So bicycle, you use manual locomotive to go forward, and by that, how you can solve it. There was a company called Rover, nowadays a car company, and they made a bicycle called safety bike. And that was a good example of first principle. So that idea was done 120 years. They put the two wheels with the gear racer everything, and they get the speed in there. This kind of system goes also in the sports, so there's always the analog design, and sometimes you make that kind of first principle design leap, like in high jumping, it was a Foster's flop in 1970s, or in that kind of things. Then there's some ideas in the world that are not changed, even there's no point, like QWERTY keyboard. That is done because somebody wanted to prevent the keys to lock. And that's the reason why it's based like that. And now we use it. I would like to have them in the alphabetical order. I think it makes sense. I think we are in a nautical theme in here, so I think everybody should be responsible, start innovating, thinking. I think we only have, like normal propeller, we know that you can make 20% better propeller than normal propeller. We know the hulls are not perfect. So why we are not pushing that boundary further? And that's our responsibility. I will start telling about these stories. I think you have seen those small text in the site. Those small text have been the key words for artificial intelligence to make this presentation. So all the pictures, what you see in here, are done by that. I only put a few keywords and they automatically appear. So I think we, as humans, we should still be innovating. We should be building stuff. We should be making things ourselves, because there is coming a other party in this game. It might be positive, it might be negative, but it's coming. It's already here. We are using that. So mentally, I think everybody should be preparing for AI, innovation. It might be our savior for better life or not. I think that was my speech for today. Thank you.